All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Saitama, Japan for RIZIN 38. We're going to the co-main event in the super atomweight division. Seika Izawa coming in undefeated at 7-0, taking on Anastasiya Svetkivska coming in at 2-1. Now this is a semifinal bout of the 2002 super atomweight Grand Prix. So it is not a title bout, even though Izawa is the champion. Also important to note that Svetkivska replaced Reina, who had beaten her in the quarterfinals. However, due to a fractured orbital bone, Reina was unable to move on. So RIZIN brought Anastasia back into the semifinals. So let's get down into the fight, because it wasn't a long fight, but there was a lot of action. All right, so first round, after some exchanges of punches and low kicks, Izawa got a takedown off of a caught kick, passing north-south before Svetkivska recovered the full guard. Really good flexibility on display by Svetkivska in this fight. Some elbows by Svetkivska on the bottom, and then she brought her guard high. She was looking for subs, started using a rubber guard, really stifling Izawa's posture on top. And then we finally got some punches from on top by Izawa, but they were answered by elbows from bottom by Svetkivska. Then we got Izawa was able to posture up and land some nice elbows herself. Then at that point, Svetkivska opened her guard, and Izawa looked for a leg lock just as the bell sounded. So a lot of good action in the first round, which really set up an even better second round. So there were some punches and some kicks exchanged to start. Again, Izawa grabbed a kick, but Svetkivska fed her a knee in response. And then from there, Svetkivska ducked under an Izawa punch, basically slid around the back, brought Izawa down, but rolled over, and then somehow still Svetkivska managed to end up in the guard of Izawa. It was an amazing sequence. If you haven't watched it yet, you gotta find a way to watch it, because my description can't do it justice. But Izawa hunted for, first she had like the head in, like she was almost going for a guillotine from guard, but then she brought up her legs up almost like a scissors, and then converted it to a triangle. And then once she got the triangle locked in, Izawa just started landing some elbows and punches to the head of the trapped Svetkivska. However, Svetkivska was able to slide out, and Izawa converted, I believe it was her right leg, to an omoplata on the left arm of Svetkivska, keeping her trapped. Izawa then, she looked for an ankle lock from there, but Anastasia was able to get out. However, Izawa was able to then get on top inside control, then pass to north-south. Izawa slapped on a scissors choke attempt, but then gave it up, grabbed an arm. Now, Svetkivska was able to resist this arm bar and get back into the guard of Izawa, but Izawa, like lightning fast, slapped on a second arm bar, stretched it out, forcing Svetkivska to tap with just seconds to go. So the official result was Izawa via submission due to armbar, 4 minutes, 56 seconds of the second round. Svetkivska almost made it out of the round. But man, what a grappling display by both ladies in this fight. Svetkivska came out. She had both offensive and defensive work, amazing work in both aspects on the ground in the first round. And then in the second round, we had just relentless attacks on the ground by Izawa. Even though it was Svetkivska who got Izawa down, pretty much once she was on the ground, Izawa just works relentlessly. Which even the commentator, Joe Ferrero, said that if Izawa gets you down, it's usually just a matter of time until she is able to put a submission onto you. And it's true. She gets you down, it is a matter of seconds, possibly minutes, until she's getting you and you're tapping out. I figured that Anastasiya Svetkivska would be easy work for Izawa, But I gotta be honest, she really impressed me with her grappling. I mean, I knew she was good on the feet with the way she fought against Reina. And I had heard that her ground game was good. I didn't know it was this good. She did really well, particularly in the first round. And in the second round, her defense was working pretty good too. It's just Izawa is just that much better, and her attacks are just that relentless that she's just constantly chaining submission attempts together. Is Izawa. It's a thing of beauty to watch. I don't think there's another grappler quite like her in the women's divisions right now, as far as submissions go. But for Seika Izawa, she now moves on to the finals and going to look to capture the Grand Prix championship in addition to already being the division champion. And then she's still the Deep Jewels strawweight champion, although who knows how long they'll have her hold on to that for. Anyway, let's talk things to work on for Izawa. She's got to keep working on her striking. Got to keep working on her striking, particularly her defense, because she ate some good shots in this fight, particularly that knee in the second round when she caught that kick, but Svetkivska was able to resist the takedown and really made her pay with that knee. So she's got to work on her striking defense because she's facing a really good, really fast striker in her next bout. Plus, you just got to keep continuing to round out your game anyway. Now for Svetkivska, you got to make your opponent fight your fight. I think she should have tried harder to keep the fight standing in the second round. She saw an opportunity for the takedown and she took it, but in the end she ended up paying for it. We know she can strike. We know she was going to give Izawa trouble on the feet. And she was for a little bit. I think she should have tried harder to keep it on the feet and make Izawa fight in her game. You know what Izawa wants to do. She wants to get you down and she wants to submit you. So why oblige her by taking her down and going to the ground with her? By extension, I think she also should have tried harder to get back to her feet in the first round. But taking Izawa down in the second round, I think she should have just kept it standing, made Izawa fight her fight. Don't go into your opponent's wheelhouse if you don't have to. Make your opponents fight your fight. So finally, let's talk fights to make for Svetkivska. I know she just faced her a few months back, and it might be some more time to recover. She might need some more time to recover, but I'd like to see the Reina rematch. That was a good fight. Svetkivska was giving Reina some serious trouble with her range. You could have argued that under the 10-point must system, Svetkivska might have won it. I'd like to see that rematch. As for Izawa, well, her opponent's already decided. Shiyu Park defeated Ayaka Hamasaki in the other half of the semifinals on Sunday morning. So Izawa's going to rematch Shiyu Park. Now, these two first fought back in Deep in October of last year, October 2021. And Park lost a decision to Izawa, including she got a point penalized. But I'm actually really looking forward to this rematch because the first fight was in the cage. The second fight is going to be in the ring, so it's a totally different environment, also different rules. And much like you could argue that Svetkivska would have beaten Reina under the 10-point must system, Izawa versus Park was under a 10-point must system, whereas now it's going to be under RIZIN rules, and you could have argued that Park might have beaten Izawa under RIZIN rules. So that makes it that much more interesting. Also, just the fact that how much these two have improved over the past year or two is just fascinating to watch. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Seika Izawa defeating Anastasiya Svetkivska via submission in the second round. Let me know your thoughts on the bout in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like, share it as well. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Wmma Scene Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.